Yeah. Oh shit, I am late. What up? It is Dímelo. I am late. It is Gray Matter Week 2. What up? I need to roll the fuck up. Yo. There we go. Dímelo. What up, yo? Alright, while we're waiting for Carrie to pop in, I need to play my motherfucking theme music. Dank, what up, homie? I'm about to roll the fuck up. Mr. RN, what up, man? I'm a little bit late. What is this? What do you mean? What is that? Where did you even get that from? What is that? Oh, you stay out of there. Nah, Dank. Nove. That is my homie through all dimensions of reality. So if he says the audio is low, the audio was low. He was right. So anyway, welcome to Gray Matter Week 2. While I wait for Carrie to pop in, somebody play my motherfucking theme music.
333 RIPP Don P PhD. Yo. I said RIP TV. Tell the homie, Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community, that's what P showed me. We lost without the unity, where the fuck is the OGs? RIPP, God bless the real, only for the righteous, the rest will go to hell. Flipping through the book of Revelation, figure it out. Transliterate the translation, do it yourself. It's the last days, life is a test and we in a cage. Concrete jungle, everyday struggle. Fuck the pain, I'm on some HNIC shit. Hegelian 3 shit. If you don't know what I mean, you was never G. Real shit, R.I.P. Yo, P, play that beat back, 333. Burn some weed, repeat that. Shake me up a tuka pack, break me off for 20 piece. I'm gone, never looking back. Y'all can't talk to me. RIP TV, tell the homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community, that's what P showed me. We lost without the unity, where the fuck is the OGs? Like the weed, play some IMD for me. It's hell on earth for real, but y'all don't wanna see paper trail politics. All the shit was prophecy, strictly for the family. Peace to the prodigy. RIPP, I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. RIPP, I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me.
Yo. What up, Sean?
Yeah, it was good.
Yo, you know why we both smiling? Because me and my son have been talking about doing this shit for years.
Word.
Yo, so good to have you here, homie.
Good to be here.
Yo, for those who don't know, this is my homie Carrie Height, the silky smooth voice of Carrie Height.
Still signing off that way.
You have to.
Every time.
Yo, so I let everybody know last week, or well, Thursday during the kickoff special, that there's only a few people that I speak to football about on the whole planet, and they all participate in this show, so it is what it is. And my homie Carrie is one of them, and that's why we instantaneously clicked in the studio, because he was just like, "Oh shit, you You watch football? And I was just like, hell yeah, I watch football. And it was on after that. Even though he's a Giants fan, we still click.
I'm just saying, listen, no beef, neighbor. The Patriots never did anything to us.
Well played, sir. Well played. Yeah, well, let them know about your football history, son. I'll let them know you played football at Houston University, H-Town.
You know what I'm saying? And after a brief stint there, I went on to play semi-pro ball in Houston and throughout Texas. Had a tryout with the Arena squad, the Houston Thunderbears, and then they folded, unfortunately. And at that point, I wasn't trying to go to Iowa to try to play football, so I switched up my path. But I had a good little run, played with some cats, some serious ballers. I mean, that league was absolutely no slouch. The captain of our defense was one of the last cuts from that team in Dallas. One of my teammates actually was on the Texans for a little bit. I mean, we had ballers. I mean, when you have dudes that are 6'3", 245, 50 pounds, running 4.5s, 4.4s with evil intentions, it's a serious situation.
Yeah, it makes 160-pound slot corners, white from West Virginia, switch from offense to defense because they didn't want to get tackled by any of these people.
Word.
True story, y'all. So, overall, what are your impressions on Week 1? It's a new NFL. What do you think?
I'll be honest, I was a little concerned about how they were going to make this shit happen. Just because in basketball, you can have a bubble. There's 12 guys, 15 guys tops, and you can have spacing. It's fine. Baseball, same sort of thing. You don't need fans out there like that. Football, you carry in 60-plus players, and then also all the coaching, and then the refs and all that. So I was a little bit more concerned with it. But I mean, outside of not having preseason, I like it. I think definitely we saw the results of them not having preseason, especially in some games, where it was really more glaring than other games.
Well, I mean, it was obvious that the teams that had cohesion over this offseason were going to have a better start than teams like, for instance, the Tampa Bay Bucks. They're going to start slow. Just calm down, people.
Absolutely.
It's going to take a few weeks.
It's not a surprise. I definitely picked against them.
Even I did. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, they're not it's not yet. You know what I mean? They're gonna come. They're gonna be coming. They have too many weapons not to. And then also, I mean, Evans, he got his first catch in the fourth quarter. Yeah, but he was a little banged up and he wasn't even really slated to play that much. Defenses, and this is like every season, defenses always start out hot, which you saw from the Steelers. It's tough to see. But then you also have that other thing where it's kind of free-flowing, where you had the game, who was that? It was 43-36, that bonanza. Who are those two damn teams? That was back and forth the entire time. Shit, it'll come to me. No big deal. Where you just off, like the plays were just working because you also, I mean, we got to think about this. Preseason benefits rookies and free agents. The vets know what they're doing. And so if you're not getting live competition snaps as a free agent signee or rookie, you're just going to be prone to more mistakes, period. And we have a lot of rookies in this season, especially, that are playing either starting or significant roles on the line in skill positions. And you know, it showed. It got exposed.
Well, I think that the lack of preseason also really hurts the vets who are somewhere new. Especially if you were a free agent who held out for a really long time and you didn't even have the benefits of phone calls with your own coordinators and coaches and teammates and whatnot. So you look at somebody like, say for instance, I heard today that Odell Beckham Jr. is on the trading block. So
I did hear that.
That's
okay.
to be expected. That wasn't working out there. It was never going to work out there.
Right.
So now you're looking at somebody who is going to switch really quickly. They're going to trade him. Why wouldn't you get rid of him? But you're not going to get a number one for him anymore. Not anymore. So you're going to trade him, and now he's going to have to go somewhere and literally start from ground zero. So we'll see how much about football he really is.
Well, my cousin, who is he's a fan of that Washington team. They don't even have a name, but they got a damn win. That's some bullshit.
They are the Washington Football Club of football players played football for the District of Columbia Football Players Club. Something like that.
They should just, I mean, they're in Chocolate City. Why can't we just come up with a fun Washington Chocolate City name?
All right, so you know what we'll do instead of just talking about random shit is I do have a whole list of notes because I do find it a little bit easier to be organized and to manage time, or otherwise we'll sit here and talk about this shit all goddamn night. So,
well, let me put a quick
go
button
ahead.
on Odell. My Washington team cousin said that Washington was looking at Odell and your squad. And I could see how the Patriots could scoop him. It's just whether the Browns would be willing to do that. Since it's still AFC action.
So I have a different angle for you with the Patriots that I think fits even more.
Okay.
Allen Robinson.
Ooh.
Because Allen Robinson has deleted all of his Bears-related social media this week.
Really?
And you already know what that means. It's time to get out of here.
Well, Anthony Davis.
When I saw that, I instantly thought Patriots more than Odell because Allen Robinson is way quieter and he's a bigger body, and the Patriots are going to run a lot this year. So you're looking at somebody who will effectively block on the outside, which Odell's not going to.
That's what he did at Penn State. Yes, I mean you play receiver for Penn State, you tough.
Yeah, and you're going to be big. You're going to have a nice.
You're going to run block.
You're going to have a nice hand game, so that's also going to help you get off the jam in the NFL. So that was the question I was going to have for you at the end of going through the first week's games breakdowns was about Allen Robinson, because that news came across the wire this morning that he deleted all of his stuff, and I instantaneously was just like, no, that's a Patriots pick right there.
Wow.
So the other, before we get into the game, the other player that I'm hearing on not the waiver wire, but the wire of I am unhappy and I want out is Zach Ertz in Philly.
And if you saw the game, Goddard ate. And this was one of the few games I saw Goddard out-eat Ertz.
So you're looking at Zach Ertz as now being expendable with his contract being expendable, so the Eagles would be smart to move on from him.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at another player, a big chess piece that's on the board that the Patriots could really use, an actual tight end. And
they really could use an actual tight end.
Kerry, look who just freed up $27 million worth of cap space right before the season started. The Patriots. So look at that. So, and I think with the week one win, it's like, all right, this offense, even though it didn't have a whole lot of time, no one had a whole lot of time, but this offense can win games in the NFL. That could win.
And if you look at it, Cam ran, 64% at the time? So they were like, okay, if you're not going to have enough time, you know what you can do? 6'5", 250, you can run.
So, being the Patriots aficionado that I am, here's my theory on what the Patriots are doing right now. Bill Belichick is literally building a team to only go up against the Chiefs. The only way you are going to beat the Chiefs is to keep the ball out of their offense's hands. You're looking at one of the best. I'm surprised that the defense played that well, missing that many starters who opted out of the season because of the Roni Roan. So,
Correct.
what I don't know what the rules on the opt out is. Are you allowed to opt back in once they say the Roan has been lifted, or 8 weeks? If you make the playoffs, can you opt back in? Like, what's the deal with that? So,
Well, I will say this: Russell Wilson originally opted out, but then he balled on Sunday, destroyed the Falcons. So,
well, I'm glad he did, because for the first time in my life, I entered the fantasy realm, and I had Russell Wilson as my QB, and I won $24 off a $2 bet. So thank you, Russell Wilson.
yeah, he balled.
Yo, I ended up with Russell Wilson, and DeAndre Hopkins. So.
I don't know how you pulled that off.
Yeah, I was going to. Well, I did it by sacrificing any ability to get running backs. I had fucking Austin Eckler and the dude from Marlon Mack, who did nothing, who's now out now.
Oh, he's done.
Yeah. So
So
now.
whoever picked up the rookie, they did very well for themselves.
Well, I'm only doing 1 week things, because that having to draft these people and stick with them for the whole year would piss me off. So no, thank you.
J.K. Dobbins.
All right, so let's get into these games, because we could talk individually about what we see, because I was just about to go off on the Colts and their disappointment. So anyway, kickoff Thursday, KC at Houston it went exactly as to be expected. As to be expected. Now that they have a running game, which if you're a running back and you're in KC, you have to love life, because it's just going to be you versus one guy. You're only going to have to break one tackle at almost all times, because everyone's covering people.
Literally, so you know me, I do the fantasy joints. In the first round, if I was high enough, I snagged Kyle's Edwards-Helaire, because I knew exactly what he was going to be. I mean, that kid, I watched him all at LSU. I watched his whole career, and I'm like, he can run, catch, he's perfect. How do you snag him at 30? You won the chip, and then you have the last pick in the first round, and you get that stud. So, and Damian Williams opted out, so he instantly became the starter. So,
I look at it as the only thing going against the Chiefs is the fact that it's nearly impossible to repeat. That's the only thing going against them. It's so hard to make it happen that's the only thing going against them, because they are
the thing with repeating, what I've seen, the most successful teams, the offensive line stays together, and they're good. You have a good offensive line, stays together, which the Pats had for a long time, the Giants had for a section of time, and then you have defenders who are playmakers, like Honey Badger. If he cannot get hurt, that's big. I mean, Brashad Breeland is out because he did what he had to do.
Well, we both know in the NFL, injuries are the biggest and most paramount factor. So even just in week 1, teams' futures have already changed just in week 1 because of injuries. Look at the Colts. Now Marlon Mack's out. Now what the fuck are you guys going to do? Because Phillip Rivers got the linguini arm, and Phillip Rivers throws like this anyway. So
they still do have 2 solid backs. They have the rookie, and then they have the other back.
Yeah, but if I'm teams' defenses right now, even though they have Quentin Nelson, I am loading up on them and making Phillip Rivers throw it, because he's got the elbow macaroni arm.
Because he will give it up. And Phillip Rivers, throughout his career, has always given it up. You can expect at least 1, 2, maybe 3 turnovers from him, whether it's interceptions or a fumble. So he will keep you in the game.
So how much do you think Billy O'Brien regrets giving up Nuke?
He'll never admit it. Not now.
Did you ever hear his reasoning for it?
Oh, wait.
Here, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Wait till you hear this. I'll tell you. So he said too much of the offense was funneled through him singularly and focused on him, and by getting rid of him, it allowed them to open up the offense. And I was just like, shut the fuck up, yo.
Why do you think Will Fuller's fourth in all 4 games he was able to play every season was getting 160 yards a game? It was more than just speed. They had to dedicate coverage to D-Hop. So he opened it up for Will Fuller. So that's ridiculous. Will Fuller allowed Darren Fells to get 6, 8 touchdowns? Like, ridiculous. Yeah.
All right, so how about a surprise for me? How good did David Johnson look for Houston? That's a huge pickup if he can stay healthy. Wow, look at him.
That was, I'll be honest, I did not
Looking like
expect
Arian Foster out there.
Did not expect that. I did not, I mean, but the thing is when you're picked up like that, listen, it comes a point in people's career where you're just perennially hurt. And that's why, especially doing fantasy, this is people who I will never pick up. I'm like, oh, they're going to give me like 3 games and then be hurt the rest of the season. And David Johnson, the last couple of seasons, has been looking like he's going to be that type of dude. I mean, yeah. Did they run him and pass to him till the wheels fell off in Arizona because they didn't have much else? Yes, sure. Will he be able to hold up now that he has a quarterback who's dynamic? We'll see, especially when you don't have a dynamic receiver who can stay healthy. Will Fuller is not that. He's fast. He could do. He potentially dynamic.
All right. So does having a running back in the AFC even matter? Because KC is going to put up 40 something. So eventually your running back's just going to be a non-fat. If you allow them to even get up by 10 or 13, your running back is now not a factor anymore.
I will say if one of your best running backs is also your quarterback, aka Lamar.
This is true. This is why I go back to the theory that I think Bill Belichick right now, his whole theory is there's only one way for us to beat KC, and we don't have the receivers to outscore them. So let's do it the way we did it the first time. Because honestly, that second half of the regular season shootout and then the AFC Championship, KC actually dominated by outscoring the Pats by 20-something in the half. It's just the Patriots were up by 20. You gotta remember the AFC Championship game. KC didn't even score in the first half. It was just like, and still were barely able to hold on with what will be lost in history, but what it was considered at the time of an all-time historic secondary. That will be lost in history forever. No one will ever talk about them again because they didn't win anything.
Right. Yeah. I know. Balling.
So there was what will be my all-time, my 2020 NFL season favorite moment already happened. Is when Deshaun Watson ran out of bounds and sat on the bench right beside Pat. To put his arm behind him and they smiled at each other. That shit was so dope. That shit was so dope to me, man.
Nah, that was dope. That was a dope moment. And they know that they're two young ballers, and they've known each other for a minute. Just like, yo, you ripping it, I'm ripping it. We see what we doing.
Yo, so I heard that when Patrick Mahomes signed his deal, he called Deshaun Watson and told him all of the details so that Deshaun Watson could have the most leverage possible when he negotiated his deals. That's how close they are.
And you see what happened. Deshaun got re-upped. He got extended.
There was also a moment of like, yeah, this is our league now, homie. So look at that. Mm-hmm. The two faces of the NFL, the two the two richest contracts in NFL history, essentially. The two faces of the league, both non-white quarterbacks.
I know. Yes.
But also, nobody said anything about it because that's how dope they are. They're just quarterbacks. Love it when they transcend the color barrier.
I do too. Like, let's just enough. But that's why I loved it when Lamar Jackson said, yeah, not bad for a running back. When he threw for 400 plus yards and was getting busy like that. Like, listen, forget it. They thought Kyler Murray couldn't play. I was like, what are you talking about?
In this NFL, he can.
Yes.
All right, so let's move on to the next game. The next game on the list, I just put it. It's I don't even know. There's no list of importance or order of importance here. That's for fucking sure. But the Patriots of Miami, whoever that tight end for Miami is was getting busy.
Gesicki. Yeah. This is his breakout year. This is a year he showed flashes last year. I said, oh, okay, he's coming into himself right now. The game has slowed down for him. And depending on what the situation at quarterback is, which, listen, give my man Rye Fly some credit. He's hung around, first of all, for an Ivy League quarterback, I know he's hung around longer than any other Ivy League quarterback in the history of the game.
Probably all of them combined.
Right. He's the greatest Ivy League quarterback in the history of the game. He was getting him the rock last year. Poor Josh Rosen. Who knows what's going to happen with him? But Tua, a young quarterback always leans on their tight end. Always. So he's even set up once Tua gets in to still eat. So, yeah. And he can block.
Yeah, N'Keal Harry looked much improved until he fumbled. But he did look much improved.
See, I'll be honest with you, I was worried about him. And I had an opportunity to snag him, but I can't trust him. I can't trust him.
I wouldn't do that for a fantasy team, but he did look better, which is positive for the Pats. Clearly, they had 217 rushing yards. The real question that I had for you is, do you think that offensive game plan with that roster of skill set positions can work against a better team? Because it was Miami.
Okay, so I'm going to say two things. Yeah, it was Miami, but if we saw the last 5-6 games Miami played with heart. Miami played hard as fuck, and they were a tough out, and they won games last year at the end of the season that people didn't expect them to win. And so you bring that team back, and they got more talent added to it. So I don't see Miami as the rollover in that division. If anything, it's probably going to be the Jets.
Well, we'll get to that. It'll be a very brief conversation about the not yets or never be's.
Not right. But if N'Keal Harry, if he's not making plays catching the rock, then he needs to. He's a big, fast kid. He's got some size. Block your ass off. Be the Hines Ward of the Patriots. Be the Hines Ward, and then once you can get the rock in your hands, eat. Don't fumble. Don't turn it over. But just be Hines Ward. Like if he designs his game after Hines Ward, then I will say he will have a good career.
I wanted to tell everybody, and you too also. And just so everybody knows, these are organic conversations. We do not talk about this shit ahead of time.
There's no production.
Gameplay. Nah, it's not going to be like that. So for the first 4 weeks, since there was no preseason, the first 4 weeks, I assumed that we're pretty much just going to be reactionary, because the teams don't even really know what they have right now. So I'm not really looking into all right, this is what I think is going to happen next week until about week 5, when you'll actually have an idea of what's on the field. Because yeah, we do know some things. Some things are guaranteed. KC's going to put up 1 million points. Things like that. Lamar Jackson. Incredible. How do you stop him? Right. There's certain things that we know. There are some surprises, but up until week 5, it's all going to be reactionary. The other thing that I did notice is Stephon Gilmore is now played at Revis level,
and they paid him like it too. They took care of him, which is not in the Patriots' history of doing things. So they were like, "Nah, you good? You stay in here."
Yeah, but you know what? If you have a quarter that it literally plays at that level, that is just
in this day and age, yeah,
you're like, okay, we're just going to put you on the best guy, and you're going to neutralize him because that's just what you do. He is literally running routes before the receivers now, and that's that's Revis level. Revis was the last one that I saw doing that. There's a bunch of talented corners. Jalen Ramsey is physically talented and whatnot, but Gilmore is playing at Hall of Fame levels.
It's like with most players, your physical ability is here, and as you age, then your mental ability is here and your physical ability is here. But when you're in your prime and your physical can meet your mental, Revis level. You're playing like Dion. You're playing like
So
at the top.
another thing that happened and is once again going to be lost in the sauce of Patrick Mahomes now is the fact that people forget Stephon Gilmore won a Defensive Player of the Year at corner.
He did.
On a team that didn't win on a team that didn't win the Super Bowl.
One of the rarest feats.
That's how dominant he is playing right now, and I was
getting the Heisman at corner, which Charlie Woodson did.
So you're looking at clearly the best corner in the league by leaps and bounds, and also a Hall of Fame level player in his peak right now.
Yep.
So, and I played corner in college, so I am loving every second of what he's doing.
I love it. I love it when corners eat. I love it. I love what Jamal Adams did. Like, he got out of the jet. He was like, I got to get out of here. And then he just 12 tackle. I mean, this guy's a monster.
All right.
Monster.
So clearly the other biggest game on the schedule, because I guess I put the games that I watched first. The next biggest game, and for me, it was the game of the week. And even though I picked the Saints to win, and it's like a heavyweight fight, it's the Bucs and Saints. And I told everybody it doesn't even matter who wins. They're both going to be factors late in the season. This is just a warm up. Who fucking cares? The Saints are probably going to win because they've been together. It does benefit. I think it benefits the Bucs more than any other team having no crowds, because now Tom Brady has the ability to communicate. It's just when are his skill players going to get on the same page with him? Because it's going to take a while. He can communicate freely at the line. It's just they got to get on the same page.
Right. Also, that's the thing too, because all reports were that Ronald Jones II had a great camp, and then all of a sudden you add Fournette into the mix later. And you have a guy who used to tear up the league in Shady McCoy as your third running back, which is insane. And then you have O.J. Howard, young stud tight end, and Gronkowski. I mean, and then you have two stud receivers. So finding ways for everyone to eat while getting the ball out on time, I think that's just it. I think as Tom learns more of the system, they need to learn more of him on how he likes to get the ball out on time, and that takes time.
That
you didn't have Julian Edelman like hanging out with him in California, like running routes in the summertime. You know what I'm saying? Like just like kicking it like homies. I mean, he did do work with them early, but I think it's going to be later in the season.
So for those who don't know, everyone's like, oh my God, he threw 2 picks. All right, that first one, that's Mike Evans' fault. Why the fuck did you stop running the post route? It was the only thing open. The corner had undercut. The safety was clearly in a 2 safety set, and he was covering a half, so that meant the middle, right where Tom threw it, was the only window, and you're 6'5". Go up and get it. Tom threw – you know what I was impressed by? And he didn't get to show it last year because there was nobody to throw it to. Tom Brady in the third quarter had 3 throws that I was just like, wait, you're 43? There were 3 throws that were...
The one where he was backing up.
I've never seen him throw it backing up before.
I've never seen him do that either. But I definitely took notice of that shit. I was like, okay, I see you. Yeah, because the thing with Mike Evans is, he's always been, like, once he got 6'5", he's always been 6'5". He went from playing basketball in the A&M to then playing receiver, and then he was just bigger than everybody else. And then it was easy to, like, sun these dudes at receiver. When you have to read the field, I mean, then he had Jameis Crablegs throwing to him, so it's just like, go run and go get it. You know what I mean? So now when you actually have to read the field and say, okay, these are my options. I could break to an out, or the post is open because I see the corner pressing down real hard. I just do this post real quick. I'm open. I'm also 6'5", so you could still use your physicality, but you have to use your awareness, and that's where he's going to challenge his receivers right now. So they have to catch up awareness-wise. They have the physical tools; it's all there. But
so did you see early? I think it was maybe second quarter that Gronk took an absolute shot to his legs, and he was very timid getting up. And the first thing, the look on Tom Brady's face, and he asked him, you could read his lips, he said, "Are you okay?" And Gronk, for the next couple plays, looked physically hesitant. And I know that's going to be an issue moving forward because he can't do what he used to do. He's not even physically capable of that, though he is running better than I've ever seen him run because he's slimmer. But that shot that he took, it looked like he worried himself. Or maybe it could be okay, I got that out of my system, the rust is off, let's get busy.
Right. Also, like, these guys haven't been taking hits like that. Your teammates from time to time will deliver you a shot, but not opposing teams that come with nothing but the fury.
All right, so the other notes from this game, because we got like 16 games, 14 more to cover. So Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore hate each other, point A. Point B, I love it. I love every second of it. We're going old school.
It's Marshawn Lattimore because Marshawn Lattimore locked his ass up last year, but yeah.
Yeah, they don't like each other, and it looks old school, and I love it. I can't wait till they play each other again. I love every second of it. The interesting point about that, though, is the flag that was thrown when they got into their little skirmish. And I wanted to ask you about this. If you notice, this is the first time I have ever seen this happen in the NFL. Up until that moment, they always flagged the retaliation.
Yes.
And that one, they actually flagged the instigator. They threw the flag once the retaliation occurred, but the penalty was put onto the instigator, and I have never seen that. So my question to you is that how they're going to call these the rest of the way moving forward, or is that a new thing? Because I've never seen that before.
I don't know yet. And here's the thing now. Because now from New York, when they look at these plays, they can kick your ass out, which is what happened last night in the second game in the Broncos. In the Broncos game when homie from Tennessee got kicked out because dude's name was Butt, the tight end, Jake Butt. Nice. He was blocking him, but he had him up near the neck. And then the linebacker's name slips from my mind right now, punched him. I mean, it looked like a smack, kind of like a punch, which don't punch helmets, kids. That's the stupidest thing you could do. Don't do it.
So dumb.
So dumb. But anyway, he got emotional and he slugged him. And then 2 minutes later, he's out the game. So now that they're seeing that this is not a game, you do some stupid shit like that, you out. It's going to be interesting not only how referees decide to call it, because the referee just threw the flag. New York made the decision, but then how players are going to react to it. I mean, it's just like kind of like the helmet situation.
So here's my point about it. It becomes the perfect microcosm to dissect it going on for the rest of the season, because not only was it a instigation, but the retaliation resulted in Marshawn Lattimore losing his fucking helmet. And Mike Evans did not get a flag. It wasn't even offsetting penalties. They did not flag him at all. And that's what I thought was interesting about it, because if they start calling it like that, I'm all on board. Let's go.
You know what that could also be? The TB12 effect.
Well, I also do think that they were trying to keep the Pats look, I call them the Pats. Try to keep them.
As long as you don't call them the Tampa Bay Bucks. Don't fucking do that.
Yo, so I didn't need to make a note. No, I'll never do that to you again. I didn't even need to make a note about this one. Is that God definitely had the keep it close settings on his Madden game on, because they were making some decisions in that game that were definitely trying to keep the Bucks in the game and make it interesting.
They did.
So
but even with that though, and even with them not, as we discussed before, being all on the same page, Tom looks good.
Yeah, he did. He did. There was some throws in the third quarter that wowed me. So the only other two things I had three more notes from this game.
And I was gonna say, I thought the defense was gonna look better on the Bucks. The defense disappointed me.
Well, I think even the defense was disappointed in the offense.
Yeah.
So, oh shit, we got Nice. The future is in the building. Let's get it going. It is full discussion time. So the other notes that I had from this game real quick. Nice, the future is in the building. We are at full go in Great Matter, where nothing is black and white except the host. So anyway, Nice. You gotta unmute your shit. Oh, hold on. Let me. Nice, you gotta. It's not letting you do the audio. Nice. 1 second. Anyway, Kerry.
Yo.
While he gets connected still. Instant connection from Tom Brady and that little Miller kid. That happened real quick.
Real quick.
I also thought that the Bucks need to go ahead and hire Dante Scarnecchia immediately. And from the Pats. And the only other question I have from you is Bruce Arians' loose style of coaching and a shortened and almost no preseason a terrible marriage? Because I think it is.
They don't go hand in hand. Well, when you have a loose style, it's like with anything else. You have a loose style, you're throwing things out there to see what works and what doesn't. So if you don't have enough time to really assess that, and now we're doing real games, you do that in the preseason. So in the preseason, he'll try like a little wrinkle here or there to see if it works, and then may whip it out week 8. You have to do this live now. So if you just don't have your plan, I mean, he does also kind of script some plays, but he does like to roll the dice. And so he's just going to have to roll it in live game. But this is where we are now.
Yo, Nice, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, Nice is in the building, everybody.
What's up, son?
What's up, baby boy? What's good?
All right.
Yeah, I'm in the building, man. Sorry for the delay, Man, be busy out here,
Hey, but you made it though. That's what matters.
All right, so Nice. Nobody cares about the Jets, so we're talking. Well, actually, we just got done talking about the Bucks and Saints, and we're going to move on to the third game that I got to catch a little bit of, and I was happy that there was a blowout so that I could catch a little bit more football. It was the Cardinals and the Niners, and Kyler Murray is about the size of Havoc. And boy, has the NFL changed, because that dude is little, but he can fucking play.
Yeah, he can play because he's fast. He's quick. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of quick. He makes quick decisions. He got an arm, and he's mobile. So that's the 3 keys he got right there.
So he's like a little joystick too. So you take a Russell Wilson and give him more speed and quickness.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have Kyler Murray. I knew Kyler Murray was a bad boy when he was at A&M, but then he had to transfer because the coach at the time, Kevin Sumlin, he just thought, like, since he had Johnny Manziel, then he could just have Kyler Murray, but he didn't know how to coach Kyler Murray. So then Kyler had to dip to Oklahoma, and then that's when he got his thing off. But I picked the Cardinals actually to win that game, because I've seen how the Cardinals play San Fran, and he's a problem for them.
Everybody did.
B-Hop had 14 catches on San Francisco's secondary. Okay?
Yeah.
14 catches.
All right.
You know that that's the best receiver out there, and he still has 14 catches on you.
All right. So nice. I know you'll love this question. I want to nominate Bill O'Brien for GM of the Year for what he did for the Cardinals. What do you think?
Yeah, for what he did for the Cardinals, definitely. You know, he's completely. I don't know what Bill O'Brien be thinking, man. I really honestly don't know what goes through that guy's mind, man. It's like he's playing Marco Polo with himself. Like he's crazy. He's insane. He's just doing insane shit. It just feels like, all right, I'm gonna just do it because I'm Bill O'Brien. Like I don't understand. How could you let that happen? And you just gave an offense that was gonna be potent regardless. Now you just gave them even more firepower.
All right, so Kerry, there's absolutely no wide receiver help for George Kittle, so teams are going to double up on him. So how quickly do the Niners go after Antonio Brown?
Well,
that's a good question. Because he's out there, he's working out. I mean, but also you look, T.O. got workout videos. I think Chad Ochocinco got a workout video. I mean, I would say the thing is, I don't think they do it because the way that their team is set up and like the mentality of the locker room, I just don't think that they would pull the trigger that way.
So let me follow up that question with if it's not going to be AB, then who's it going to be? Because clearly they need some wide receiver help because San Francisco was able to make George Kittle disappear. Because once Deebo Samuel went out, now what? Now what do you do? Because Jimmy G, the other note that I have from this game, nice, and I know you'll agree with me, is Jimmy G is not an elite quarterback.
He's just a situational quarterback.
All right, so if you notice, Jimmy G always misses short when people are open, which means he's like, oh shit, he's open. So that's a hesitant quarterback.
No, he's a situational quarterback, and he needs weapons around him, for him to prosper. They just got Mohamed Sanu, so they just
hold on. Don't say that like that matters.
No, I'm saying they're trying to get receivers. They're
senior.
Yeah, that's
year. Yeah, he's gonna do shit for them.
Block.
He's gonna block for the wide receivers.
Yeah. They need weapons, man. Just like my Jets do. They need receivers, man.
Hey, we're not doing that here. We're not doing that
here.
Yo,
so right now. He's not even playing right now.
Yo, so nice. What they need to do is they need to take Mohamed Sanu over to In-N-Out Burger for like 6 times a day and get him up to a tight end's body because that's about the only thing he's going to be able to do because he is washed, son. I smoke 15 blunts a day and I'm faster than him. Like, get out of here with that.
Yeah, he's completely washed, man. But I'm just saying, they for them to sign that, that they're desperate. So they definitely gonna be looking for receivers. As the weeks go by.
You don't sign Mohamed Sanu with the thought process of getting AB. Go for AB. So they're not gonna sign AB.
All right. So my last note from this game, and then we'll just move on to the next one because it's not even a question. Is I believe that Jimmy G should just go on to playing quarterbacks in movies and not being an actual NFL quarterback. I mean, that's a good looking quarterback, man. He looks like a movie star playing quarterback. Like he's not an actual quarterback.
He'll be the new school Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. That's right. He is the new school Burt Reynolds.
That's it. That's Jimmy G's name from now on. He's Burt 2020. All right, so the next game on the slate was the Cowboys and Rams, and normally I would not talk about the Cowboys because I fucking hate them, but we have to be professionals here. The Rams' new uniforms made me sick. Who the fuck picked those colors, man? I actually physically got ill watching that game.
Yeah, that was a weird color scheme. It wasn't good at all. But as far as that the Rams go, they played a pretty good defensive game. The Cowboys, man. Once again, Dak Prescott, man. Once again, he shows that he's overrated, and he wants too much money. It's unbelievable. He's another quarterback that's out of his mind right now. He's out of his mind.
Yo, the look on Kerry's face. I'm gonna throw this to him since he's a Giants fan and he has extensive Cowboys knowledge. The one note that I did take away from this is CeeDee Lamb is going to get busy.
Oh yes, he definitely is. This is what I said. They have so much weapons. How could you lose that game?
Yo, so Kerry, do you think that the NFL actually favors Dak as a quarterback, and that's the only reason that he's relevant? Is that why Jerry's hesitant to give him a real contract? Because Jerry doesn't view him as a real quarterback like Troy Aikman, but in the modern day NFL, he kind of is a real quarterback. So what do you think of it? What do you think?
He is, and Jerry. Okay, so for me, from what I've seen, Jerry's still treating homie like he's a 4th round pick. Like, because he's still upset Tony Romo got hurt then, and then he had to put this dude in. Like, he like picked him. He just pick him like, this is my future. He picked him. You do that with players. But yeah, and so he's been trying to hold out as long as he can with Dak. And then also, I think the way Dak has equated himself with this whole thing, he's trying to be the perfect company man. And so they're rolling with that. They're like, oh, okay, so we'll get you. Just keep doing your thing. And Dak keeps doing it. So at some point, as the player, you have to be like, nah, I'm holding out, homie. Look what Zeke did. And Jerry was like, I need the Ewok.
All right. Nice. Speaking of Zeke, I'll throw this one to you. Nice. Yo, Zeke had like 3 nose rings in during the game. What's going on with him?
You know, Zeke is just crazy, man. He's crazy. He's a crazy individual. He's like the Marcus Smart of football. He does bugged out things, and but he's very valuable to the team. He's very valuable to the team. That's why Jerry Jones paid him and not Dak.
All right.
But I will say this, though. If Dak, all of his skill set, Dak can run. Like, Dak is a problem. But he just is refusing, I think, because he's hearing the whispers that he's not, like, an elite quarterback. So he wants to be a pocket guy. If you look at his tape at Mississippi State, that dude ran. He was the team. He had to run. You have a massive offense. Run. What's wrong with you? Like, so he's holding himself back also.
Yeah, and he don't know how to master the long ball, man. That's the problem.
All right, so nice.
Nice.
I'll ask you a football question this time, and so Aaron Donald pretty much looks like the best defensive lineman who's ever existed. He's literally tackling 3 people at a time. He's throwing running backs with one arm into the air like they're children. It's just I've never seen anybody literally, and he's not that big. He's not physically that big. It's just he has so much leverage and strength and quickness.
Strength, because he works out crazy. Like, you ever seen him?
Power lifter playing deep tackle.
I seen him without his shirt on. This guy was ripped. I'm like, that's Donald right there? Nah.
We doing Lou Ferrigno things.
Yeah. He's looking like a mini Hulk right now, man. He's a problem, man. He's a problem.
All right, so the other football thing from this game that I would take away is Jared Goff looked a lot better. He looked comfortable. He did look really good.
I mean, McVay is an offensive genius coach. When you got a coach that's offensive minded like that, he's gonna put you in positions to make you look good.
All right,
score a quarterback like that, yeah.
All right,
that's a great marriage.
So, Kerry, I'll ask the last point that I had from this game, and I'll throw it to you. With all the social justice things going on, like every commercial, the announcers, it's on the field. There's so much awareness all of a sudden. Do you think it was wise for them to sit there and tout a $5 billion stadium over and over and over again? I mean, wasn't $4 billion enough? There's so many homeless people in LA. You couldn't take $1 billion and feed the hungry and then still put $4 billion in your stadium. I think it was $5 billion's a little bit outrageous, yo.
Definitely.
Well, here's the thing. It's the same thing with anything else when they say they don't have money for stuff. Like, oh, we don't have money for that. We don't have money for reparations. But then you have money for, like, you like come up with a shit ton of money. You come up with like $1 billion, $1 trillion. Oh, okay. Cool. So it's like, it's what you want to unask. And what they feel is in their best interest. I mean, it's like homie that pastor down in H-Town in Houston when they had like the wild storms and hurricanes, and then he wasn't letting people in his church, and then he got put on blast, and it was like, oh, Joel Osteen. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh, no, you can come in. No, please.
Yeah. I was going to say that.
People in there.
I was going to say that creepy white dude, but yeah, that shit
He
was.
didn't want them people in there.
That shit was ridiculous to me. So we'll move on to the next game because the LA Rams or Kronk or whoever that guy is that built that stadium, you're an asshole. So the next game on the slate is the Chargers and Bengals. Broadway Joe gives the Bengals something to be hopeful about for the first time, and I think my entire lifetime.
My man Joey Beware. Listen. He showed his ass, and look at, and the quick drawback to Dak. Like, Joe ran in college. I mean, wasn't the fastest, but he's athletic. Running in the league, he's using whatever it takes to get the shit done, but also can put that shit on you. And that pass interference call at the end, the offensive, they rarely. That's one of the. I never see that call being made like that. On AJ Green, no less. That was like, I guess because AJ hasn't played in a couple of years, they like kind of didn't want to give him that. But I don't know. They should have let that shit slide. It wasn't that bad. I've seen worse.
All right, so nice. The San Diego running backs did look pretty good. That's a good running back room. But what impressed me about, I called him San Diego. Fuck you guys for moving to LA for no goddamn reason. Anyway, the San Diego Chargers. Mike Williams can fucking play, man. So you got Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Tyrod Taylor is definitely not getting you past the Chiefs. So how long is it before Care Bear comes in and shows us what does he have like a football patch on his chest that he just like?
I'd say by game 6, probably like by maybe game 5, probably. Whenever around there, because they want to showcase him, ease him in. So a couple of games so that he could understand, blitzes and certain packages on the defense, see how fast the game is. It's a lot faster than college. So now he's gonna, they trying to ease him in because Tyrod Taylor, that's all he's always been there for. He's always been a quarterback to relieve so the rookie can start. You know what I mean?
All right, so Kerry, does Joey Bags give Cincinnati's ownership enough hope that they give them an indoor practice facility?
Smoking Joe.
Listen, my man Joey B. Boy Band is he's a rock star already. Listen, in Cincinnati, you kidding me? A guy who always wanted to put it on for his city anyway in Ohio, and had to go to LSU to prove himself, and now he's back in Ohio. This is a legend in the making right now. He's writing the story. And
Joey Donuts
showed out. My man Joey Boy Band showed up and showed out. So he good money. No, he's gonna get that stadium built. He's gonna be a big portion of getting that stadium built. Hell Hell yeah.
And this is why he's performing like you said. He's out there back in his hometown.
Mm-hmm.
He's the number one pick. He's just got so much confidence with him right now. The confidence.
And
is
not everyone can do that, but he has like a strong family support. It's not like a whole bunch of like knuckleheads he's around. He got strong family support, so he like, I'm just about this football life. Let's get it.
Yeah, so
I'm just football.
I feel like if Joey Donuts had the Chargers roster, that they would win a lot of games. So the future is bright for both of those teams, though, honestly. So moving on, Seattle and Atlanta, we all picked the same thing because we all know exactly what Seattle is. And
That's
good
my
God,
second
good God, I think Russell Wilson is playing football at such a level that I'm not even mad at him that he has a Jerry curl right now. I don't even care.
S curl. We call that S curl.
See, this
it hasn't carried all the way yet. This is the S curl.
See, this is why you got to hang out with everybody so you learn shit.
My second favorite team right now. That's my second favorite team because Jamal Adams, my guy, is over there.
Dude, we brought him up earlier. He's a monster. You get a stud like that on defense? Are you kidding me?
He's a monster, and he's just getting. That's only game one. By the time
he just getting started,
game 6, game 7, 8, he's gonna be destroying teams. He's gonna be a one-man wrecking crew out there.
And the thing that they did that was interesting is because Seattle has been a one-note team: run, first down, run, second down. Russell, get us out of 3rd and 15. And so then he's always had to have Russell magic. Now they're like, throw.
Yeah.
Schottenheimer is like, no, we're going to throw on 1st and 2nd, and then we're going to set the run up to your pass because you are a playmaker. And they actually have someone, they got 2 guys on the outside. DK's hands need to get better. They just need to get better. But
he's going to be a monster, though.
He reminds me of a young T.O., but T.O.'s hands had to get better. But Russell and Lockett are like,
they're like connected at the brain, man.
They wonder twins.
All right, so nice. What do you think? What do you think about when Josh Gordon gets back into the mold? How dangerous Seattle's offense can really actually be?
Oh my goodness, man! Sky's the limit. They got Dorsett, Philip Dorsett too. I mean, it's sky's the limit for them, man. They got good old Luke Wilson too. And they are fully loaded right now. And that's only game one. Look how many points they put up, and it's only been game one. So when they really gel by game 6, 7, they're gonna be so dangerous. It's gonna be hard to play against.
All right, so Kerry, are we just all overreacting because it's the Falcons defense and Dan Quinn is the new Marvin Lewis?
Because I was gonna say I have an issue.
Yeah, please.
First and foremost, give me the last year Josh Gordon played a full fucking season. That's another dude that I would never pick up, who I always would pick up. Wait.
Let me interject the only issue with that, but while I roll the fuck up because it's very relevant. You're allowed to smoke weed in the NFL now.
Yep.
Oh. Well, he was also sipping a little scissor. I mean, he had multiple things he had going on with himself. He's still a physical phenomenon. And I still want him to do great. H-Town to the fullest. I feel you, baby. But you gotta be available. You just gotta be available. And this last time, I will give him credit. He sat himself down. He's like, yo, I need to work on some shit. I will say Philip Dorsett, I really like that because we thought Philip Dorsett was going to be a bust because of what happened with Indianapolis, but then he got to New England and was like, oh, this dude, okay. I see the flashes of Miami in you. He gets with a cat like Russ and that system, he could shine. I could see him shining. I wish the best for Josh Gordon, but I would put more trust in Philip Dorsett. And so now, as far as the Falcons are concerned with Matthew Ice Cream and that defense that they have, I mean, poor Julio. That's all I could ever say.
All right,
and then they added another stud, Calvin Ridley, another stud receiver. It's like, Poor Calvin.
All right, so nice. Their wide receiver duo might be the best in football, it looks like. But what I want to ask you, I'll get back to the receivers with Kerry. But what I want to ask you, Nice, is it's not really even a question. It's more of a statement. I think that Russell Wilson is the best quarterback to have never won an MVP in NFL history. This guy is on a whole different level of execution. It is retarded. He's so
it is ridiculous. He wins. All he do is win. Like I don't. And he's just so quiet and he goes about his business. He never gets in trouble. He's always, he's just got a clean slate and he just plays football immaculate. I mean, this is the first season and the season hasn't even fully really started yet. So we don't know what his offensive line really going to be. But this is the first year that it has potential. All the years before that, it's been horrible. He's been running damn near his whole career, and he still makes it happen.
All right,
Rock with me on this. He is young LeBron James Cleveland years in Seattle. It's him, and that's it. Like it's just like get us out of trouble, LeBron Wilson.
All right, so Kerry, since you are our fantasy football guy, Calvin Ridley is going to absolutely destroy teams who have a terrible second corner or slot corner. He is absolutely going to eat. So I would definitely start him as your second receiver against teams who have a terrible secondary because you have to double and triple Julio, and Calvin Ridley can really, really run routes.
Like people forget how much of a stud he was in Alabama. Like he was a stud, and his younger brother is just as good, if not even a touch better. They're both monsters, and now both of them. I will say this, because I know they want to make a big deal of how Atlanta started winning games late last year. I think that was more fluky than anything else. They're going to have to pass a lot, and so to come back because they're going to be down in games a lot because you can't depend on their defense. And their offensive line is bleh, and they got rid of the best tight end that they had, Austin Hooper. So they're going to have to really pass the rock. And so this year, he may actually really eat
a lot. And
he's learned the position. He's had, now it's his third year in the league. This is the time where receivers who it takes a little time. Some receivers can get onto it, but third, fourth, but especially that third year, I think this is it.
His route running is exceptional too.
Well, nice. Nice. I'll throw it to you on that. Not only is it third year for him, but you are also still at peak Julio. So this is literally a perfect storm for Calvin Ridley for the next probably 2 to 3 seasons, where he is not going to be the focal point. And I'm telling you, his route running is, even at this stage, is next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's immaculate. He runs routes perfectly, smooth in and out the routes. He got it, man. He got it.
And I gotta be honest with you, that's some Alabama shit right there. Because Jerry Jeudy,
I was just about to say
whoever the wide receiver coach is at Alabama, he got these cats running scalpel sharp routes. Like they be crazy with it in Alabama.
Well, okay, guys. So think about this for a second. You have to think about this. Look how good Alabama is at football, and think for a second. Every time they win national titles, it's not like they're holding teams to 3 points or they're only putting up 13. They're just blowing teams out, and they have never had a good quarterback when they're blowing these teams out. So it has to be. And yes, they have had some running backs, but not really. It has to look at the stable of wide receivers that have gone through Alabama over the last decade, and it's outrageous. You're looking at just thoroughbreds year after year after year. So the last note that I got on that game before we move on to the next one is on the field, the Falcons uniforms look dope as fuck. Those all blacks look really good on the field.
Yo, they are the actual 180 of whatever the fuck the Rams decided to do.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the Rams are thinking, but that Falcons uniform.
No, the Falcons. That's dope.
All right, so now
excited.
we'll move on to another big game, and I'm the only one who picked the Packers, and I'm not real sure why everyone was on Minnesota that much. But Aaron Rodgers, Aaron,
The Packers.
no, I never got all your picks, so I'll just believe you on that one. So Aaron Rodgers is indeed the best thrower of the football who has ever lived. It's always in the right spot. It's always in the right angle. He's the only one who can manipulate the nose of the ball to drop in certain angles. Ever. No one's ever done that, people.
My favorite quarterback, man. My favorite quarterback in the league right now is Aaron Rodgers. Then come Russell Wilson.
All right, so I want everybody to keep a tab on all the players that Nice says is his favorite because it's going to be a bunch.
It's gonna be a bunch. I love a lot of players, man. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers is
Listen, I saw him play live against the G's, and that's when they had Jermichael Finley at tight end, and the Eli drove them down, scored, but they left 50 seconds left on the clock, and me and my boy looked at each other and was like, "That's too much time left." And then this dude threw the most perfect pass I've ever seen thrown on the sideline to Jermichael Finley. The linebacker was right there, just missed his fingertip. I was like, I've never seen a quarterback throw the rock like this ever.
So Nice. You and I both like defense. So Jair Alexander for the Pack got absolutely busy. He was all over the field, stuffed the shat.
All over. His awareness, his awareness is just ridiculous. Like his awareness and his anticipation is just like it's there. Right now it's there. He can see. He's seeing things that's about to happen, and he's reacting to it at a fast level right now. He's really playing. He played remarkable yesterday.
All right, so Kerry, I get you and I will definitely hone in on the offensive side of things naturally, since you were a wide receiver, and I definitely
I was a corner and a safety. I also played wide receiver. I was supposed to say, I made my bones on defense.
Yeah, I know, but when we talk about football, it's usually about the offensive side of the game. That's definitely for sure, because
I see it because I see what these dudes do wrong.
All right, so I definitely expected more from Irv Smith Jr., and Justin Jefferson Jr.
This was supposed to be Irv Smith's year, but it's still early. It's still very, very, very early. And again, no preseason, so we have to really take this into effect. And I want to come back. I want to come back to that preseason thing really quickly. In the preseason, most preseasons, you get guys injured in those 4 weeks. You weed out guys who probably wasn't going to make it anyway, and then some guys, big guys, get hurt, and then new guys step up, and then you're like, oh shit, I didn't even know I had this diamond in the rough. So we won't actually really get to see again, like what you were saying earlier, Joe, like until week 5, 6, because there's these dudes whose body just won't hold up just yet. So we have to wait and see. So I like. With especially the tight end position and like someone who's supposed to emerge, they need those snaps against other teams to be like just really get themselves in a flow, and I think that's probably where Irv Smith is at right now. And also we got to consider who's QBing, and Cousins takes him a few games. It takes him 4 or 5 games to get things figured out. So and also you lost your other stud on the other side, Stephon Diggs. Even though he didn't like to throw to him a lot this last season, Stephon Diggs was still a problem, and they still had to give attention to him. And so now you have Thielen, who's now the main wide receiver, who's going to get all the attention, and so now it's like who's on the other side. And
right, to chime in on that, you made the perfect point that Cousins is a player that once he builds a chemistry with you, That's who you gonna rely on.
Mhm.
Everybody else is just there.
Mhm.
That's how he is. Like he
Mhm.
just, and that's why I never really liked Kirk Cousins as a quarterback, because he will find one player that he has this connection with, and
Got that
he's just
tunnel
gonna
vision.
ride it out. Yeah, he has that tunnel vision because Justin Jefferson is a stud, but you know he only targeted Justin Jefferson like 3 times in the whole game.
All
Out
right.
of desperation.
All right, so
Yeah.
I mean, typically these are both, you know, heavyweight contenders, so there's not too much to talk about, given the fact that Kerry did point out that this is essentially the preseason for these teams. So, you know, we'll definitely dive in and know more about the teams later in the season because they are both going to be factors. I would actually be more shocked if they aren't factors. So we can move on to the next game, which went exactly as we all expected, but is still fun to talk about. Is the Ravens and Browns, and it seems like no matter who is coaching for the Browns, that they are just fucking retarded. It never fails. They're just fucking retarded.
First of all, how do you have 2 stud running backs? 2 stud running backs. 2 stud tight ends, even though one can't stay healthy. Njoku, which that's someone who I would never pick because he can never stay healthy. 2 stud wide receivers that are both paid as top 10 wide receivers. You improved your offensive line. Okay? What else do you need? So it's like, who's the problem?
They have to let Baker be Baker, man. That's the problem with that team, man. They just have to let Baker be Baker.
All right, so nice. Let me throw a question to you then, because what I noticed in the game, when we're all football heads for real, is that the Browns should 100% be a play action and moving pocket team, because you have those studs, and that's the only way you're going to get one-on-one matchups on the outside, and whoever is running that team is fucking retarded. So we won't talk about them anymore. We'll move on to Baltimore. J.K. Dobbins, good fit for the Ravens. Kerry, what do you think?
Big time. This guy's just all the rookie running backs, especially the ones that were highly touted, he went under the radar. And I don't think people really know what he did at Ohio State. This guy was a monster. Archie Griffin style monster. Like the dude who won 2 Heismans in college. So Jake, and when they added him, and I was like, wow, you're gonna add him to Ingram and then also Gus. I was like, whoa, and you saw what he did straight out the box.
Not only that, he landed in the perfect place because that team is built to run. So you have an offensive line that is absolutely.
They're going to run. They're going to run it.
Yeah, I told you they're the team that the only threat to me in the AFC to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, nice for now until see, you were a little bit late. For now until the Patriots go and get Allen Robinson and Zach Ertz, and then you're looking at a real contender.
Yeah. Well, if that happens, then
I'll say this about B More, okay, because they still got that stud at tight end, Mark Andrews. But here's the thing: they also have young receivers, and Boykin. People are forgetting it. This guy's a flyer. He stays healthy. This is his second year. Yeah, everyone's keying in on the run, but you make one tiny mistake coming up for the run. 70-yard touchdown pass by Lamar Jackson to Boykin, or
Hollywood Brown.
Or Hollywood Brown, exactly. So you got 2 burners on the outside. You make one mistake coming up for the run too hard, you're going to get burned. And Lamar, especially even back in his days in Louisville, he could throw that long ball. He could throw it.
Yeah.
All right,
he's
so
getting better with accuracy all the time.
All right, so nice throwing it to you. We always talk about arm angles, so this is a perfect question for you. Lamar is surprisingly accurate for me for that weird ass fucking throwing motion. Like, he actually is accurate with it. I've never seen a quarterback with that throwing motion that actually puts it where it's supposed to be. So
it's crazy.
So since you missed this discussion in the beginning before we started to break down teams, now that we're on the Browns, this is perfect for you, because I already had made a note that this is going to be IBS's last season in in Cleveland. IBS, aka OBJ, aka he likes to get pooped on. So this is definitely going to be his last season in steaming Cleveland. That's for sure. So my question for you, Nice, is where do you think he's going to end up?
Back in New York. I think it's either back in New York or it's out in LA. He likes the bright lights. Yeah, with the Jets. Or
No. You don't get to say that because you're just being hopeful. Look at you. I hate it. Your optimism pisses me off.
No, I'm just saying.
No. You're not just saying.
He's the guy that loves the bright lights. So it's either gonna be LA or New York. He wants to be.
Well, how about Vegas? How about Vegas then?
Oh yes. Vegas as well. Vegas. It's either Vegas. It's either the Raiders, the Rams, or the Jets. He's gonna wind up in one of those places. Maybe possibly the 49ers too. The 49ers is on that list too.
I mean, if Vegas, I mean Gruden could be a factor. Yeah, he's also, but Mike Mayock is the GM. So here's the thing, and this like throws it back to Bill O'Brien and how you really understand like being a head coach and a GM. Only very few people can do it. The Hoodie, Andy Reid, and that's about it. Most other people who have tried to do both, well, outside of Bill Parcells, have failed. I mean, you have the young guy in Ruggs. You have Waller at tight end. You have that young stud in Josh Jacobs, Alabama product.
Well, hold on. Let me interject. We'll talk about the Raiders as the next game. Actually, we'll just transition right into the Raiders in Carolina because the Browns suck. They're always going to suck. They gave up like $1 billion. They just suck. I have a bunch of stats, but all it equals is that the Browns fucking suck.
You know the last time that they won an Week 1 opening game? Yeah, nobody does.
Exactly. All right. So transitioning into Vegas, transitioning into the Raiders, and if Odell is a good fit in Vegas, Henry Ruggs is really fucking fast, yo.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's lightning fast.
He's Olympic speed fast.
Yeah, I actually watched his little documentary he had before the draft. He's gonna be a stud, man. He's a freak athlete, man. He's very freakish, man. And he's tough too. He's real tough for his size, so he's gonna be around for a while. That was a great pickup by the Raiders.
The only way I could see them justifying the pick is that Terrell Williams, who they got from San Diego, who is another wide receiver, big. You need that big receiver, but he's always shown that he's always hurt. He's one of those guys. Like when he's healthy, he can get busy, but he only gives you 5-6 games a year. That's it. That's it. So, I mean, like I could see how they could justify it like that, but then you gotta play Ruggs. I mean, you can't, like, you got the Cheetah in Kansas City, Cheetah and McCole Hardin in Kansas. You cannot play Ruggs. You give Ruggs all the time you can to get him acclimated to playing receiver in this league because you want that speed on the field.
Nice. Speaking of that, if they have Ruggs, who is clearly going to open the top of the defense up, then Odell is a perfect fit because he is an expert route runner to do things that work underneath.
Yep.
They just gonna have to put Terrell Williams get his ass up.
I would definitely, if I was Gruden, I'd definitely go all in for OBJ, man. You know, OBJ just likes to be comfortable. He likes to be comfortable and he likes the bright lights. You're not getting the bright lights in Cleveland. It's nothing bright in Cleveland at all. It's just cold.
Nah, you get a lot of Cleveland Steamers. That's all Odell was getting there.
I mean, honest, every team color is pretty dark out in Cleveland. Pretty dark.
Like that. He don't like that shit at all, man.
All right, so the other
but
notes, the other nights that I had nice from this game, I'll throw it to you for the running game is A, Josh Jacobs is legit. He can really fucking play. And B, Christian Run CMC is the best running back, the best white running back in NFL history already.
Oh my God, he is. I gotta give it to you. This dude is tough. Like he's taking. I've seen some of these plays Sunday, man. He was taking a beating and bouncing off these tackles like it didn't do anything to him. Like he was running through tackles. It was ridiculous. It was some plays I was sitting there like, all right, they got him, and then there he was, just burst through the tackles, and I'm like, oh man, this guy's gonna be special.
Let me tell you, there's some white kids in South Carolina, Alabama, and Mississippi right now in their backyard running through a whole bunch of tire irons right now to be the next Christian McCaffrey.
All right.
Let me tell you, the resurgence of the white running back is coming.
All right, so Kerry, I'll throw it to you real quick on the same thing. Because you can name me the last relevant white running back, and if you say
John
Peyton,
Riggins.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say, if you say Peyton Hillis, I'm going to mute your mic.
John Riggins.
John Riggins, that's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
So speaking on the racial issues and the rarity of a white running back coming from an ignorant 40-year-old white dude from the West Virginia mountains, Christian McCaffrey is actually so good that he has transcended his own race. He's not a white running back. He's just a running back.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing that we do, the Black Caucus. We're like, that's a badass white boy. You know what? Here's your card. And so you just down with the team. You come to the barbecue. That's what we call it. You invited to the barbecue. So yeah, Christian McCaffrey he has an open invitation to the barbecue all day, every day. And even his daddy, they were like, you come on in, Easy Ed, because Easy Ed was a monster.
All right.
6 foot.
All right, so nice. Before I throw it to you, yes, I have been to the barbecue many times, and the mac and cheese is slamming. And speaking of Easy Ed, Ed McCaffrey does have my favorite catch in NFL history in the end zone against the Bucs, where he tipped it, went around the guy, and caught it himself on purpose. That was incredible, Easy Ed. So nice. Throwing it to you. Besides Christian McCaffrey being outrageously incredible, Robbie Anderson, since you're a Jets fan, Robbie Anderson was looking good for Carolina. What do you think about that as a Jets fan?
I mean, like I said, Robbie Anderson had the talent. He always had the talent. It's just the Jets wasn't exploiting the talent. They just had him as take the top off the defense. That's all you're going to do. All you're going to do is because you're fast, you're supposed to just take the top off the defense. He can actually run routes. You know, in Carolina, his coach in college is the coordinator for Carolina. That's why it's working like that. It's a perfect marriage. And back to Caffrey, man. Not only can he run, he can catch the fucking ball. This nigga is crazy.
All right, so nice. Speaking of Robbie Anderson not being on the Jets anymore and how hilarious that is, that somebody who left the Jets and started getting busy immediately. So, Kerry, I want to throw you two questions on that. One being that, did you hear the word that Nice used to explain using Robbie Anderson? This is why the Jets will never win. He said they didn't exploit his talent. That's what they do to you in New York. They exploit you. That's why you guys suck. So the last note that I have on this game is that the Raiders are a number one wide receiver from being a really, really good team. And now we go back to full circle to Odell Beckham. So what's your thoughts on that?
You know, yeah, I mean, yeah, because they also, you have the little white boy slot receiver out of Clemson there right now. He could be their little Julian Edelman or Welker. You get Odell doing what he does best, who can run the short routes, he can run a slant, and he can take a slant the whole way. And you got Ruggs, who you have to be afraid of that speed. You have to be. And you have Waller in the middle. Derek Waller's a dope-ass tight end. Like, he's dope. So, yeah, and I mean, you have a quarterback who's still young. I mean, let me tell you, Derek Carr is miles better than his brother ever was, but his brother did take a ton of punishment. He got punch drunk. I mean, his brother never had a shot, but he did get a ring.
Yeah, Derek Carr's brother took more punishment than Odell Beckham's chest. So anyway.
But I will say this. Here's the sad thing about Robbie Anderson bouncing from the Jets is that you have this young stud quarterback in Darnold who's figuring it out. The thing that you want to provide for your young quarterback, weapons. How do you let your best receiver go? It doesn't make any sort of sense to me. I mean, you had Jamison Crowder. Jamison Crowder's always been like the slot guy. He's not. Don't let the slot guy be your best receiver. You still need You still need a stud on the outside, especially with no tight end. Especially with no tight end.
They want Sam Darnold. They want Sam Darnold to exceed and be an elite quarterback with number 3s and 4s and
they don't want him to be an elite quarterback. No, they don't.
All right, so we'll talk about how they
would look out for him.
No, we'll talk about how terrible the Jets are in a second. So we'll get to that. We can skip on to the next game and the Bears and the Lions, and I don't know how the fuck the Lions ended up blowing that game. How do you let money-making Mitch pull that off? He did look good. He did look good in the second half of the game, but how the fuck did you do that? But the other note that I get, the overall take that I did from that is the Lions uniforms were fucking amazing, yo. That whatever that new blue and silver shit is, that shit was awesome.
And not only that, they're gonna be amazing. That offense is gonna be a major problem.
Well, they need to figure out who the fuck the running back is. When they added Adrian Peterson, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You have Kerryon Johnson, who you got last year. Then you added DeAndre Swift, rookie. And then you had another running back. You got 4 running backs you need to give touches to. You got Galladay and they got that other receiver. I forget his name. Marvin Jones.
Yeah.
But
they're loaded. They're low-key loaded.
But okay, so then but you have Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's not I hand the ball off guy. Matthew Stafford can sling the rock.
Yeah, he's a gunslinger.
What you got 4 running backs. What are you doing there? Like, what are you doing? They need to figure out what their offense is going to be. I mean, I see what Matt Patricia's trying to do because New England would also have like 3-4 running backs.
Yeah. That's going to work.
Stable of running back, but also you let go of Darius Slay to get a rookie corner. So, man, pay attention to your defense and your special teams. So, because if you let Mitchell Trubisky's, I mean, beat you in the last seconds, and he didn't even throw it to Allen Robinson in that one. He threw it to the other receiver, the second receiver, who's going to ascend to the first receiver. I can't. I mean, Chicago brought in Nick Foles to take Mitchell's spot. I don't give a fuck what they say. They brought in Nick Foles to take Trubisky's spot.
It's going to happen.
Nick Foles is a perennial backup who can just give you a couple good games.
All right, so nice. Another note I had from that game, well, 2, I'm a huge Adrian Peterson fan, he might break the all-time rushing record off of Will alone. He might run until he's 56. The other note that I had on the offensive side is, A, the Lions' offensive coordinator is trash, and B, TJ Hawkinson is going to be an absolute monster.
Yeah, man, like I said, it's just a matter of time. Couple more games in, they need Holiday back. they're gonna be a problem, man. Offensively, they're gonna be a problem. But like he said, it's the defense. The defense is where they're hurting themselves. They got to figure that out. They
All right.
gotta hurry up and figure that out.
All right, nice. We got a comment from A Money that says that you are literally the only guy in America that thinks the Jets are a good team, and I agree with you, A Money. So, Kerry, moving on from that, well, actually, both of you. So I'm going to make we're going to have a money making Mitch meter for the season to see how much money Mitch is making this season. And right now, I say that he has 1 brick in that duffel bag.
Mitchell is trash, man. There's no
He got at least 1 brick in that duffel bag right now, though. Nice. That was a good second half. The Bears, we'll see. It's going to take, like I said, we need at least 5 weeks to see what we actually have. Week 1, who gives a fuck? So now, because Nice is the only optimistic Jets fan in America right now, we'll move on to the Jets and Bills. Josh Allen literally looks like a tight end playing quarterback. The Jets are terrible. Sam, I ain't worth a damn. Darnold is still seeing ghosts from that Patriots game. And here's the thing I want to the note from that Nice that I want to say to you is he is seeing ghosts, and the ghost that he is seeing is the defensive line from the other team, because your offensive line is absolutely fucking trash.
Oh my God! I mean, where do I begin? The offensive line and the receivers. He has nothing to work with. I mean, what do anybody expect Sam Darnold to really do right now? He has no receivers. His offensive line is terrible. It's like it's nothing he can possibly do. What can he really do at this point? Our defense got so many injuries. Our whole linebacker corps is injured. C.J. Mosley opted out. Jamal Adams, the stud, he's gone. I mean, it's just, it's just tough times right now. They got to get that offensive line, and they got to get wide receivers, man.
You know who didn't opt out of your game was Sam Darnold's forehead. It was definitely present during that game. I want Kerry to come back so I can ask him a question because since.
But I like Sam Darnold, man. Darnold can be a stud.
Yo, so nice. You and I have been friends for like a really long time, man. It's over a decade easily. And you have always been a Jets fan. And I can tell you that the entire time that I have known you, there has not been a single player in a Jets uniform except Geno Smith after week 1 that you haven't liked. So go on with that bullshit.
Nah, man, you gotta tell me Sam Darnold is a good quarterback, man.
No, this is why I want This is why I want Kerry back in the conversation, because you won't give me an objective answer, because the evaluation that I have of Sam Darnold is always objective. See, this is what I'm talking about. So Kerry.
So talking Jets?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So Kerry, since Nice can't be objective about the Jets, I had to wait till you got back in to point this out to you. So, Sam Darnold looks pretty much exactly like Kyra Bowler physically, and that is definitely not a compliment.
Well, Kyle Bowler married well. He's a hot wife. Okay, so here's the thing. There are certain, like we brought up earlier, with Goff and McVay. There's certain quarterback coach marriages that are just needed. Goff got really lucky with McVay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Adam Gase is not the guy for Darnold. I think Darnold needs like a coach that could be like on the McVay level for him. And until he gets something like that, he's always going to look like this. I think if he gets into the right situation, then he will be better.
I don't. I don't at all. I think he's a wash. I think it was a bad pick. I don't think he's a good fit in the NFL. I think it's over for him already. And watch, I will be the one who's right on that.
let's just go straight to Fox
yeah.
Sports. So let's just say it. Let's just
I mean,
let's just
he does.
let's just put a flag around his waist and just flag football for Sam Darnold.
No, but he does have a great look for Saturday afternoon analyst gigs for college football. So he does have a future.
It does happen.
So anyway,
he has great broadcast hair.
exactly. So nice. I'll throw it to you. The last note from this dumpster fire of a game that we watched was Kyle Sam. You're gonna love this one.
Still call him Kyle Bowler.
No, it's worse than that. It's worse. So to me, and this is an honest evaluation, but it's funny. So after you get done laughing, I want you to think about this. Sam Darnold looks like Kyle Bowler physically on the field, but he plays like Cade McNown.
Oh man, that's a real low. That's a real low one, man.
I mean, because Cade didn't have the best hair. That's Josh. Josh had the best career. Josh. Cade didn't get anything out of the McNown gene pool. Josh took it all.
Yeah.
How Josh was in the school system teaching, and they were like, "Hey, can you come play quarterback with the Bears?" And then all of a sudden, almost make the playoffs.
Hold on. It's that incredible chin that Cade McNown had, or that Josh McNown has. It's the jaw. But no, seriously, and I know it's funny and it does sound like a low blow, but I'm being serious. When I watch him play and throw the football, that's the first quarterback that he physically reminded me of was fucking Cade McNown. And that's not good.
God. That's not good at all. But I would say this. Give him time in the pocket and he delivers. You look at it, you look at the stats. Every time he had time in the pocket, he delivered. So,
okay, well, I want to ask you, Nice. Let me ask you something. So, since they got Le'Veon Bell, he hasn't been able to hold up. Now you have 66-year-old Frank Gore, who's probably going to be starting, who doesn't need kneecaps. He's still getting it done. Still probably going to pass Barry Sanders this year for number 4 all time on the running back list. He just still gets it done. He had 85 knee surgeries. Doesn't even bother him. What do you think about this running game? And what is Le'Veon going to do? And I mean, seems like he regrets leaving Pittsburgh.
No, he's out for a while. He's got a hamstring issue, so he is out for a while. So he's not going to do anything. And either are the not yets, and no, they will never do anything. And I hate the Jets so much. We're not going to talk about this dumb shit anymore. We're going to move on to the Jags and Colts because this was the surprise game of the week outside of the Lions blowing one. But the Lions have a tendency to blow games, so that really wasn't that big a surprise. But the Jags and Colts was a huge surprise to me, because I, for one, thought that Phillip Rivers had something left in his arm.
Yeah, the Jags and the Colts was definitely a surprise to me because as much moves as the Jags made, I thought they ain't had nothing left. I mean, I like their receiving core. They got a real nice receiving core. I like their quarterback. He got a lot of guts. But I didn't think they was going to get it done, and they actually got it done, man. Phillip Rivers,
defensive studs.
Phillip Rivers needs, more time, a couple more games, a few more games with his new team. The Colts is going to be all right.
No, they're not. There goes with that optimism again. You're the anti-Skip Bayless. I love it. You're so optimistic. The Colts
are not going to be the 2015 Denver Broncos when Peyton had noodle arm and the defense saved the day. That's not going to be.
Yeah, this is definitely not going to happen. This is a terrible situation, it looks like, for the Colts, and I think they chose poorly. And if this were Indiana Jones, the third one, then they would disappear after they chose poorly because they looked terrible. Now, Kerry, you missed our kickoff special. The one thing that I did say, and I should have picked the Jags, but I had too much faith in Phillip Rivers, is that the Jags wide receiver room is, from front to bottom, is actually the best in the NFL. If you look at number 2 through 6, they are absolutely.
Chenault, that kid Chenault, I need to really pay more attention to him.
He's like a.
I need to pay more attention to him. I don't know that much about him yet, but he caught my eye.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna pay more attention to him, and then like there are other receivers like I know.
They have D.D. Westbrook.
Yeah, D.D. finally healthy.
And then DJ Chark is their number 1, who is a legit number 1. So and then if you look,
Chark has been a legit number 1 for he's been legit. I like DJ Chark a lot. What do I say? They honestly, here's the thing with having a quote unquote name, and it transcends just sports. It's acting and anything, any industry in which you have a quote unquote name. Sometimes that name it expires, and people don't realize that name has expired, and they should move on to a different name. Honestly, Indianapolis should have stuck with Jacoby Briskets. Keep developing him. Listen, he got the stamp of approval from Bill Parcells, also Billy Belichick. Like, he got the stamp. And he's good. He's a good quarterback, and he's young, and he's not gonna make the mistakes that Philly Rivers is going to. And you have a great line. Yes, Marlon Mack going down hurts, but you could still rebound because you have Darius Leonard at linebacker, who's a fucking monster as long as he can stay healthy. They should have never lost this game to Porn Stash Minshew, but they make an interesting situation. I just don't know what Jacksonville's running game is going to be now. They have dope receivers, no question. I even like O'Shaughnessy, who's backing up. Who's starting there for tight end right now? That they brought in. I like O'Shaughnessy better though. I think O'Shaughnessy should be their starting tight end.
All right, so nice. Building on that, Uncle Rico to me is a legit NFL quarterback. That kid can play. I don't give a fuck. He can play because when the pressure goes up, he performs, and that's the biggest factor. He might be able to throw the football over that mountain over there, but if it's in the third and fourth quarter, it's going to be complete.
That's great footwork in the pocket.
So to me, the one thing I want to ask you is, since Carrie said it, and actually you brought it up, Darius Leonard being so good, and Carrie, you added to it by saying that can he stay healthy? My question is to you: is Darius Leonard the Bob Sanders of linebackers?
Who you asking?
You.
He's a good linebacker.
Nice. Think about it for a second. Like, he's literally a top tier linebacker who is 30 pounds undersized, so that physical nature is going to catch up to you, a la Bob Sanders, who was a defensive player of the year, who just his body couldn't take the beating that he was putting out.
Couldn't take the beating. That's what I was trying to get.
And that's the history of the Colts.
His body.
Dwight Freeney, undersized. Robert Mathis, undersized.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's too early to tell on that.
Yeah, it's way too early. And that's why I said don't quit on Philip Rivers yet, neither. It's still early.
Well, the last note I had from this game is if you really just paid attention, that the Jaguars wide receivers just completely outplayed the entire secondary of the Colts. And that's what it was. That's where the game was won and lost, because the Jags are solid from front to top, and the Colts secondary is not that good. So the other surprise of the week, and we were all caught off guard with this one. Nobody picked this one. Washington and Philadelphia.
I damn sure didn't pick that one.
Like, okay, all right. So
you don't even have a team name.
All right, so yeah, the Washington Football Club of men playing football, wearing helmets for the District of Columbia football players and whatnot. So, Carson Wentz is like talented, but like Is he any good? Kerry, is he any good?
See, okay. Yeah, let's dig into this real quick. So, Carson Wentz, before he got injured by the Rams, when he was balling in that game, and he made a baller play to get into the end zone, and he got his knee fucked, was the MVP of the league.
Yep.
Not many people can argue that. Again, though, when we talk about these players who can't stay fucking healthy, he's been one of those guys. He's made amazing plays where he's ducked under defenders. He's like, oh, he's sacked for real. Ducked under them, made a first down on 3rd and 18, throwing in the back of an end zone, an impossible pass for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
He has goods, but can he stay on the field? And also, the thing is, does his team even really believe in him? Because they chose Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts.
Well, nice.
Who I love as an athlete and who is a football player.
Nice. Let me throw
Yeah.
let me throw that to you. Not only did they choose Jalen Hurts, I don't think they trust him because he didn't win them a Super Bowl. Big Dick Nick Foles did, so.
Yeah, of course, the Robert Oriole football. The Robert Oriole football. Just put him in the playoffs. He gonna win, baby. Carson Wentz is a good player, but like he said, he's always hurt, and that takes a toll on you as well. Your team don't really want to stand behind you. Because you're never reliable. Every season he's been on the injury list. So it's not that he's not a bad player. He's a good player. He's just hurt all the time.
All right, so nice.
So another part of that is that, again, like what you said earlier with Cousins, he was so laser focused in on Zach Ertz that he wasn't throwing the ball to Alshon Jeffrey and like his other studs. And then when Nick Foles got in, he was like, "Oh, Alshon Jeffrey, 6'3", can out jump everybody because you were a former basketball player and can catch. Here's the rock. Here's the rock. Here's the rock. I'm never throwing to Nelson Aguilar, but here's the rock."
All right, so
he's smarter.
So Kerry, since you are a Giants fan, you will take joy in knowing that it is going to be a very long season for the Eagles because their offensive line is absolutely terrible. But nice, I want to ask you. Dwayne Haskins is not very good at quarterback, but the one thing that Washington does now have is Chase Young and a front line that absolutely feasted. 8 sacks.
Oh, yeah, I told you Chase Young is a monster, man. He's a beast. He is a beast, and he's going to be eaten all season long. This guy is a different maker, and then you got Kerrigan on the other side. It's not gonna be good for any team, But yes, Dwayne Haskins, he's terrible. The Redskins was just they were lucky to win.
You can't say that word anymore.
Yeah, the
They
who?
were lucky.
The who's?
Oh yeah, the Washington football.
All right, so nice. I know that you'll love.
The Chocolate City Ballers.
Yeah.
Nice, and Kerry, I know both of you guys will love this stat right here. The leading rusher for the Eagles in this game's name was Boston Scott. I did not make that up. Like
Boston Scott.
You're going to have a long season if your leading rusher is named Boston Scott. And half of his yards came on one carry in that game. It's going to be a long year for Philadelphia. So congratulations, Kerry. That's a little optimism for I don't know what. You still have Daniel Jones at quarterback, so who fuck cares? And speaking of the Giants, it's a perfect transition into the Giants and Steelers.
What we doing?
I absolutely despise the Giants being a Patriots fan for those 2 victories that they got over us, and it will be a lifelong grudge that I will never let go. And Kerry knows this, but we have fun with it. I think Daniel Jones is absolutely trash, but I do also think that T.J. Watt might win Defensive Player of the Year because the NFL is going to get tired of giving it to Aaron Donald every year.
Yeah, but T.J. Watt is also fucking
Let's be
Yeah.
honest. He did.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's
Yeah,
probably going to win it.
Let's not take anything away from him. Also, Bud Dupree looks like LT on the edge. I was like, what? How do you not even put a hand on him? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, and I understand Andrew Thomas is a rookie on that, but like, listen, hey rookie, just stick your hand out. Yeah, he may run through it like a turnstile, but do something. Like, this guy got a free rush every single time. Also, so I think with a team like the G's, with this new assembled line, young quarterback, they needed preseason. There are teams that we saw play that clearly needed all 4 games of preseason. The Giants are one of them.
I wish I had more thumbs so I could give those Giants more thumb down.
So it's, and trust me, I always come from a place of, why in the fuck did you do that? But and that's how it was throughout the game, and sometimes I just have to turn because I get too angry. But this is what I did see. Slayton, legit. He's legit. And if Danny gets enough time, he's going to be a problem for a lot of defenses. And like people, because he's not a big name. He's not Odell Beckham with former blonde hair. But Darius Slayton's a player. Evan Ingram is, I don't know what he's going to be because he was hurt too long. But I will say on defense, Lorenzo Carter is looking like someone who might be able to rush the passer. Dexter Lawrence out of Clemson is a definite player down in the trenches. And Bradbury, I know we have to pay a lot to get him, but he looks like someone who is in the Peanut Tillman category of someone who wants to turn the ball over, either through picks or causing fumbles.
Do you hear the names? Do you hear the names of the people you're talking about right now? Bradbury and Peanut. Like, go on with this dumb shit. I could not be more disinterested in talking about football than talking about the Giants right now.
These are Rona times. These are Rona times, and when you're looking at your squad, you have to look at it through Rona vision. And so this is my Rona vision evaluation of the 2020 G's.
All right, so nice. I'll throw it to you.
Not to be all negative, I had to do that shit. Also, Joe Judge, he came from the Patriots.
Yeah.
I am relying on his pedigree.
Yeah. Good luck with ex-Patriots coaches as head coaches. That's fair. Those guys have fared real well in the NFL. Have fun with that. So nice. We'll move on to the Steelers. We'll move on to the Steelers. The Steelers defense. It's probably going to end up being the best defense in football. They look retarded good.
Oh yes, their defense is retarded. That combination of T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree is going to be a problem. Bush in the middle is going to be a monster. Micah, you know how Micah give it up. He's everywhere. He's all over the field. They just got studs. They got studs, and it's the Steelers have always been good. It's nothing you can really. They've been good for years. You know, if they do have a little fall off, it's because of injuries. But other than that, when they're all healthy, they always make the playoffs. So
y'all are gonna hate this.
I would love every second of it because I fucking hate the Steelers. So bring it on.
But for as dominant as a performance that it looked like and what it was, the Giants had 29 rushing yards. The score was 26-16. They got Darius Slayton had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So they put everything into stopping Saquon, and I get it, and stopping the run. But that left those corners exposed, and Micah got beat a few different times. So their secondary ain't all that. So if they don't put the pressure in the front seven, and you have a more experienced quarterback maybe, and you get a little bit more time with a better line, they're gonna get like passed on all the time. If they're just gonna dump, and what's his face even said that they were committed to stopping the run. But their secondary got exposed. So okay, so your front seven can be dope, but if your secondary is trash, guess what? You're not gonna beat Baltimore. because then they're
No,
gonna find Boykin, they're gonna find those fast dudes, and they're gonna throw it to Mark Andrews all the time.
Oh, we definitely didn't say they was gonna beat Baltimore, but you know, it's only game one. You know, game one they got to get the you know.
Well,
get the feel. Plus, they, like you said, they were committed to the
Listen,
run.
no one thought Omar Epps would make a good football coach, but then he won a Super Bowl.
All right, so Kerry, you'll notice that in the discussion of how dope the Steelers' defense is, none of us said anything about any corners. So we don't disagree with you on that. But everyone outside of those two corners, that defense is retarded up the center of the field. Good luck with that, because not only
they always do, the Steelers always do, and Hayward is a monster. And did anyone know that Hayward is the son of Ironhead Hayward of the New Orleans Saints running back fame?
Yeah.
Know that.
Yeah.
So you know, the whole season for Pittsburgh is going to ride on Big Ben's elbow and how long he can actually stay with Jesus and and abstain from jerking off and watching porn and injuring his elbow again.
And going to any bar bathrooms with any
ball fights,
girls in them. Yep.
drunken ball fights, and
all of that shit. But yo, if that team stays together and healthy, they are definitely a huge factor in the AFC, adding themselves to Kansas City and Baltimore, because that team's fucking loaded, man.
Yeah.
And yo, that before I move on from them, that wide receiver from Notre Dame, that big dude, that kid.
Chase Claypool, man. Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
I've been saying his name before the draft. He's gonna be a stud.
Yo, but nice. I love to play devil's advocate with you more than anybody. You used to sing the praises of Laquan Treadwell on a daily basis, so I don't want to hear about it.
Who's with Atlanta now? Who's with Atlanta now? He's their receiver.
Treadwell was the only wide receiver that I miscalculated on.
Boy, you
No.
really missed on that one though. You love that guy.
At Ole Miss, he was a stud. At Ole Miss, from his true freshman year, he was a stud.
Yeah, he was a stud.
And then he got hurt really badly, and then he came back and studded out the next year. So
yeah, I thought he was gonna do it, man.
Well, Dice, I know how you feel because you know who Laquan Treadwell Jr. is. It's N'Keal Harry. They're exactly the same to me. They are exactly the same. And I don't look for either. I haven't looked for N'Keal. It's the same. But you know, the Steelers are definitely going to be a factor moving on. But that rookie wide receiver, that dude is big, and that catch. That's a full skill. That's a full NFL skill set already. So that's dope.
Yeah, that catch on the sideline was stupid. I hate
stupid.
it.
He's a tight end receiver.
So
he's dope.
So the last game of the night is the only one that I picked different, basically, than everybody, and I did it for a reason because Tennessee is a physical team, and there was no preseason, and they were playing in Denver, so I thought they would run out of gas, and they did. It's just Denver what's their number one receiver's name? Shit, I'm high.
Cortland Sutton.
Once he went down, it was over for their offense. They had nothing, and then
he ran some hell of a route. But I will also say this: it wouldn't have been that close if former New England Patriots kicker Gostowski could make any one of his kicks outside of the last one, and he even missed an extra point. So if he could have made those kicks, it wouldn't have even been that close. Tennessee dominated them, even with their starting middle linebacker getting kicked out. So,
well, Denver did surprise me. Denver's defense did play surprisingly well. That little white dude playing with linebacker who was only 230 pounds. His name's Josie Jewell. I don't know where the hell he came from, but he is a very, very active football player, and he's
Joel has been in the league. I call him Joel.
Now he's getting his shot, and he was very active, and he will be a factor leading on. So
he be a Blake Martinez type.
Yeah, the weird note that I had from this game is it looks like to me that even when he didn't have to, Drew Lock is always throwing off of his back leg, and I don't understand that shit.
He's a rock star. He just does what he wanted to do. what
That-
makes him comfortable.
He has
Jerry
some
Jeudy is going to be
Eli
a stud.
that way.
Yeah, and Jerry Judy is going to be a stud.
Jerry
they need
Judy's feet.
they need to
That
focus
is,
on him.
he is the
a lot more.
definition of sweet feet. So at receiver, you want those sweet feet. He is the definition of sweet feet.
Yeah, his
Building
route
wide
running
receiver,
skills
you want
is
Jerry
effective.
Judy's feet. Outside of
Yeah, his
you
route
want
running
Chris
skills
Carter
is
or whatever. Yeah, he is
He had
like,
separation. He had separation almost all night. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know what was
he was
going on
always
with
been
that.
open.
All right, so nice.
But
I don't
also,
know.
Drew Lock has to get better on his deep route throwing because he
Yeah.
had guys open and he just couldn't hit them.
So nice. What I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you is if you just keep loading up the box and say there's a better defense with a better front seven, and you just keep loading it up against King Henry, is Tannehill good enough to do? Is he good enough to win? Like, you're going to get to the playoffs, but like, who cares? It's all about winning the championship, so who cares?
Yeah, Tannehill is his greatest plays is off play action. He lives off of that. So I mean, he can't just do it by himself. We know that. His whole what makes him, even in that playoff run last season, every spectacular throw, big throw that he made was off of play action because King Henry was dominating. So he has to feed off of King Henry. It's the only way he's gonna look good. Other than that, if you leave it up to him, no, it's not gonna happen.
So I have a hot take on this one. You have AJ Brown, and who in his second year is looking to transcend even higher, and you have Davis, Davis,
Terry
the other
Davis.
receiver, who was a top 5 pick. And Jonnu Smith, because they punted out Delanie Walker because he kept getting injured. Delanie Smith could also run the rock. Like Delanie,
Yeah.
I mean Jonnu Smith is fast.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Humphries in the slot.
yeah, and Humphrey
got
in the spot. So I saw Tannehill make plays without play action, and I'm like, I see you, Tannehill. So he has
Not gonna happen,
playmakers on the outside and in the inside because they stuffed the run in the first half. Derrick Henry didn't get most of his yards. I mean, he got 50 in the first half. But Tannehill kept him in, and he also can run. He'll use his legs. He was a college receiver. So I think he's a little better than that.
He's not. No, he's not. He's not at all. Nice knows that he's not that good because he does have 2 big physical stud wide receivers to bail him out of his terrible throws. And the offensive line is.
What I'm saying is he has more help than just King Henry.
Yes, of course he does. That's what I'm saying.
Of course he does.
But is he good enough to use the help around him? I don't think he is. I think he's kind of trash.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think.
Here's my only thing that I'll say. Who's that bald dude from Baltimore who won a chip with the Ravens? Oh, Dilfer.
Yeah, you're also talking about an all-time historic
great
defense. So like, come on, man.
So so then let me ask you this question: how do you feel about the Titans' defense? How do you feel?
Their defense is good. Their defense is going to be very good.
Adoree Jackson is going to be out for a while, and that's their best corner.
Yeah, but overall they have a real good defense.
Well, it all comes down to whatever the matchups are in the next couple of weeks when you got these injuries. Because like Kerry said, that was actually a dope ass point that I didn't think of, and I usually try to think of everything ahead of time. Is that those usual injuries that happen, those freak injuries and whatnot, those non-contact injuries that happen in the first 4 weeks of football, where people's bodies aren't used to that much torque yet. Those are going to happen in these first 4 weeks, and it is happening.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
Billy's still in that. Yeah.
So it all really depends on who stays healthy through these first 4 weeks, not necessarily the back end of football. It's actually going this year during the Roni is going to be the first 4 weeks of who's staying healthy, who's going to be the biggest factor. And that's why up until at least week 5 on this show, we're not going to predict or do anything. It's more reactionary because right now we're just happy that football's actually happened, and we're just reacting to what's happening because there's so many pieces in new places, and there's so much new shit going on, and
We're happy we could just evaluate any sort of action, sucky or good. Yeah.
Early in the season.
Yeah, so
But I will
for
say this,
what was nice, I'll go to you first. What was your biggest surprise from week 1?
Jags. They were my biggest surprise. The Jags as a team. Should note, I watched him in college from Colorado. He is a stud. He's gonna be amazing. Yeah, I did not see this win coming
All right,
at all.
all right, Kerry. What about you? Biggest surprise week 1?
The Washington team. So here's the thing. They have a lot of former Alabama studs on there. And listen, you come from that program and you play defense, you know how to play fucking defense. You have a former, like, MVP, at safety, Landon Collins, you have studs. And then you have the number 2 overall pick. All you need them to do is just all Dwayne Haskins has to do is manage. That's it. Their defense, scary.
No. All Dwayne Haskins has to do is get better at football.
But
Yeah, as a whole.
and I think he will. I think right now, especially in these last couple of years, we evaluate quarterbacks super early.
Yeah,
We never used to evaluate quarterbacks like that fast, but quarterbacks have been shown a propensity for picking it up fast, but quarterbacks have been shown a propensity for picking it up. I don't know if he's that dude. I don't know if the Joe Burrow effect will, Joey Boyman will affect him because he's back at his home. I don't know if he'll have that same effect. We have to see. I know he felt slighted by the G's because we didn't pick him. I think one of the worst moves was getting rid of Adrian Peterson. I was like, you should keep that dude. That doesn't make any sense. Especially you punted Darius Geis because of whatever the fuck he did.
Well,
and
that was a good call on their part. They
they got rid of him, and then Kyrie Bibbs, who his only problem was he was trying to fuck the same cheerleader as one of the executives.
No, Kyrie Bibbs' only problem was that he's Kyrie Bibbs. Can we talk about players who are actually relevant in the NFL?
I'm just saying the Washington team has big problems, and they tried to cover it up with Rivera.
They do, but that defensive line looks for real, and we have seen.
Yeah.
We have seen all the way back to your Giants teams upsetting the Patriots that a dominant defensive line will win you games in the NFL, even if the rest of your team sucks.
And an offensive line. And they have a pretty decent offensive line also. So
there are definite building blocks in Washington and